Alrighty, what is up, guys? My name is GamingMemoriesTV, and today we got something special for you. This is a test. This is a podcast I wanted to start. I'm here joined by Quatchi. You guys know him from my videos, obviously, and you guys should also know J-RocKe. He's been in a lot of and many of my videos as well. Easter egg hunter, high rounder. Quatchi is oh my god, I can't. Speed runner, Easter egg hunter, everything you can think that has to do with zombies, he's in it, and he's got records to look at and admire. Anyway, guys, today we're gonna be talking about obviously Call of Duty Black Ops 4. We're gonna be talking about Classified. We're gonna be talking about Blood of the Dead. We're gonna be talking about Nine and Voyage of Despair. If you guys enjoy this, the few of you that will watch it, and even if you don't, or if you watch it late, super late, maybe a year from now, let us know if you enjoyed it. How can we improve? And yeah, I hope this could be a every month kind of thing, at least once a month. Maybe I'll switch it up. I'll have different guests in the show. Anyway, let's just jump into it. Here we have Quachi again and J-RocKe. Say
Yo,
hi.
what's up,
Alright.
everybody? It's J-RocKe.
What's up? What's up?
Alright,
so what do we want to talk about?
what do you
first?
guys want to talk about? Alright, we can talk about. Alright, let's start with the simple question. Which for you guys was the best Easter egg? Easter egg, just Easter egg. Doesn't have to do with cutscene. It's just Easter egg steps. Which was the funnest?
You know, for me, a lot of people would disagree with me on this, and I promise you, people, it's not just because I was second in the world, but for me, I think the most fun Easter egg was Voyage.
Nice.
Me personally.
That's a good Easter egg.
I think I'd have to
Yeah.
agree too. I think mostly because I really like the planet step where you can shoot the planets down from
I really like that.
To me, I don't know.
we-
To me that was a really cool step. So
Bro,
Yeah,
I would
good
say probably
coordination
Voyage is
and
probably my
everything.
favorite.
I love
Yeah.
anything that has to do with the solar system, with stars. I really enjoy that step. I cannot lie. But to me, I have to give it to, I think because it's the map I spend the most time and I get
Classified.
most of. No.
Class.
We'll-
Yes.
we'll-
Because, hey, who doesn't love going around?
We'll get that into we'll get into that a little bit later. But I think
Oh God.
I think that because it's the map I spend the most time, I have to give it down to 9. And it's a different map. It was like a different vibe. The steps were, I can't, like, you can't really say they were different than, like, they were, I don't know, to me on my Easter egg hunting and Easter egg completion, I guess you could say career, they were different. They were different. They were different to expect. The steps were different. The map was a different kind of vibe. We had so many different kinds of zombies. We had the freaking, obviously the catalyst, but we have 4 different kind of catalysts. The water, the electric, the poison, the fire. Then we had 2 different kinds of gladiators. We had
And don't forget
the
Blood
blights,
Fathers.
the lovely
God,
blights,
those
and
fucking things.
and after even that, we still missing the tigers and the regular zombies. I think that is a very challenging map. I don't want to say it's the hardest because I have a feeling that Voyage it is a lot harder. I haven't really gotten the time to play for rounds on that map, but for me, Easter egg wise, 9 was the best. Now let's go
Yeah.
jump into juicy cutscene. Which of all the cutscenes you guys think is the best? We just got today the classified cutscene. It wasn't achieved
Yeah.
through the greatest methods, but we saw it. What do you
But
guys think about the
it's done.
cutscenes?
You know what? Okay. Don't get me wrong. The 9 cutscene still lingers with me, and I'm not gonna lie. Despite it looking fucking awful, and through the perspective of a one team that illegitimately did it, the whole concept, like that shot where the premise characters stand face to face with their ultimate selves, was a pretty dope picture. Well, pretty dope screenshot, rather. But honestly, like many other fans in the Call of Duty community, for the best ending cutscene, I'm gonna have to give it to Blood. Blood
Heck
was
yeah.
just an amazing ending cutscene. It was very, very sad. I didn't think it could get any more depressing after Dempsey, Nikolai, and Takio killing off their other selves, it was just so heartbreaking to see that
Yeah.
happen to Richtofen.
What do you think, Jay?
I think in a way I have to agree with Quachi because personally, like I enjoyed all the Easter egg cutscenes. But honestly, the one that hit me the most was really like watching Blood of the Dead, especially for the first time, was just you know what I mean. It's just like it's a feeling that you get, especially completing it that way. It's just like that these are the
Yeah.
characters that you grew, basically in a sense grew up with and played with, and then to see, I don't know, man, the whole cutscene was for real emotional,
Mm-hmm.
and to me, I don't know, it was one of my favorite cutscenes. I would have to say probably overall,
Oh
in
yeah.
entirety, but.
I'm like I've already said this to y'all, but like I agree with y'all. Hands down, Blood of the Dead. That shit almost made me cry. Like it was so unexpected. Like nobody saw that coming at all. Like the way the story ended in Revelations was a little bit disappointing because we were expecting a bigger, crazier ending, a mind blowing ending, and for some people it was. For me it really wasn't. It was more like whatever,
It
you
fell
know.
short. It was so anticlimactic. Like I think the reason people were so disappointed is because like everyone thought this was gonna be it. This was gonna be the end of the zombies
Mhm.
story we knew and loved, and everyone was just expecting so much more. And honestly, it makes sense now why they did what they did.
Mhm.
They had their own weird
They
strategy
probably,
of continuing.
I feel like they probably, and pardon I, sorry I interrupted you, but like I feel like they weren't really thinking. I don't think they knew people were gonna take that ending like the way they did negatively, the Revelations one. So I feel like they pulled this one out of their ass, bro. Like they pulled it like in a good way because there was still room. Like we all knew there was still room for this the storyline. There was still room for it, and they were like, "Shoot, people didn't like how we ended it. Let's remaster Marvel the Dead, which they've been asking for it. Let's make freaking five, and let's give it to them. But like, we're gonna make them actually like go nuts, go bunkers over this. How we're gonna twist the storyline. That's how I feel like.
Mm.
Going back to cutscene, hands down, Blood of the Dead. I loved it. It was unexpected. It was emotional. It was
Very
different.
sad.
We saw one of our favorite characters suffer. At least, of a character that we kind of like got used to him through freaking Black Ops 3. It was we got used to him and his weirdness through Black Ops 3. The Black Ops 2, Rick Tofen. I mean, we barely got Rick. No, we didn't get no Rick Tofen on Black
Wait,
Ops
wait,
2.
wait. Black Ops 2 Rick Toffen was kind of underdeveloped. I mean, they did a decent. It didn't really matter that much in Black Ops
Hmm.
1 because they were just archetypes back then. Black Ops 2 is where character development kind of started.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, Black Ops 3 is where like the storyline actually took a spin. It really took a really very nice spin, and I think that's why that cutscene echoed the most, basically. Um,
Yeah.
Easter egg wise, I already said is 9. You guys said Voyage. Um,
Yeah, I like Blood too. Blood has probably one of the coolest finales I've ever seen in like no, hands down the coolest finale I've ever seen
yeah,
in Easter egg.
hands. I agree
Like
too.
hands down.
With that, I love the non. It's not a cutscene, but it's a dialogue where you get locked in that cell. At least how I experienced it without like I didn't know. I didn't look up any videos. I didn't look up anything. I didn't like everything was new for me. To me, being locked in the cells, that was to me like a foreshadowing. Like I already had the goosebumps while I was in the prison cell. And then the freaking warden was looking at me dead on my eye. That shit was creepy as heck. But you know, I really loved that. I don't want to. I don't know. Maybe I love the Easter egg too because the Easter egg was it was to me. It reminded me more of like Black Ops 2 Easter eggs because there was just challenges after challenges after challenges after challenges, which is Black Ops 2. That map is from Black Ops 2, which makes sense that that map was like that. That Easter egg was like that. So maybe I did like it, but we got to talk about a very important topic to understand why that's not my favorite Easter egg, and that is the infamous blue screens. I'm
Oh yeah.
I'm sure
Um.
both of y'all have experienced it. I've experienced a shitload of them.
Mm.
So that ruined a lot of the fun for, at least for me, it ruined the Voyage of Despair. Thankfully, thanks to you, Quatchi, and J-RocKe, because you were in there too, I was able to redo the Easter egg again and rewatch the cutscene. And that was also a
And
little bit,
I got a better experience.
yeah,
Yeah. The crashes were especially bad on Voyage, so don't feel bad.
yeah.
Like.
That map, I don't
Uh,
understand why it was. At least for me, it was terrible.
it's not just you. Like, trust me, when that Easter egg first got solved, anyone who was trying to get that Easter egg done was suffering crashes. So
No, it really was like every single run that you would try to do the Easter egg was really just resulting inside of a
yeah, it was
crash.
just like it
It was
was.
hard to make it to the boss fight without crashing, man. And
Yeah, the two particular bad points, if I recall correctly, are the planet step and the boss fight. And there's also
mm,
surviving the boss fight too. Like you
yeah,
need good teammates, otherwise you're gonna get your ass handed to you on that final stage.
Yeah, boss fight wise, hands down, Voyage.
Oh
That
yeah, I love that boss fight
I
because like
love it. It's a real test to skills. Like if you don't have the skills to survive, if you don't have that survival mentality, if there's no coordination between you and your teammate, don't expect this boss fight to get done. It's just as
yeah,
simple as that. And I really
like
enjoy team working and being put to my test, like being put to test while I'm playing zombies. I really love that. So hands down, that boss fight was very entertaining. I loved how there's various stages to it in various different rooms. I love that. I really love when we're locked in the middle and you have to peek out and shoot in the eye while he's
oh yeah, shoot the eye. Yeah, it gets like I think the final stage too, as I was saying, like you really need to coordinate yourself. Like if your team's not coordinated to to put as much damage as you can into him when he does his supernova attack, like you're dead. I mean, and yes, I can agree. But it's kind of bullshit that there's no way to really dodge that attack. It's either do enough damage or he kills you. But
yeah.
to be fair, it makes the fight more challenging. And honestly, after a streak of easy fights through like World War II and Black Ops 3 in particular, like we've been kind of asking for a challenging boss fight as a community.
yeah. We have Black Ops 3 did a good job, but it was I think the Easter egg steps were more challenging than the actual boss fight. You would expect boss fights to be like oh my god, I can't do it. But no, I feel like they got a little mixed up where the boss fight was the easiest step of the whole Easter egg.
Yeah,
And
I
I feel like that's not how it should be. It's a boss fight after all.
fight. It needs to be hard. Yeah, no. Uh, honestly, I agree with you in the case of Blood and Nine. I do not agree with you in the case of Voyage.
No, Boyage, yeah, Boyage was great. Nine, nine, they just the arena was too big, which is okay with me. The arena was too big, it's okay with me. But they needed to add more things. I don't
More
know, more
obstacles. They
obstacles. Yeah,
like make it more of a clusterfuck. Yeah, no, it was too easy.
they should have
And
had
but
someone like a mutated tiger, like even bigger than the regular one, just come at us, and we had to figure out how to kill him. I don't know. Either way, it was a good.
yeah,
It was interesting. We saw a zombie elephant. Like, come on, that's never been seen
yeah,
before.
no, it was.
I really like that, especially me coming from World War II, where we had that well. I wanted to see that well do something. So we finally got an
Oh
animal,
God, yeah, that,
a
we
mutated
got a
mutated
fucking
elephant.
elephant. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
You know what? I'll be honest too. Blood was blood was just like I mean you have your magma guy. You don't even have to worry about the warden. The only time you have to worry about dying in that boss fight is when he puts that where he puts that red circular
Hmm.
field, and you gotta like make sure to place yourself in that field before it kills you. Other than that, though, as long as you like pay attention, you'll be fine.
I love talking about Blood of the Dead. I love how they connected the the
Yeah.
Shadow Man and the Black Ops 3 storyline to Mob of the Dead. I think that was really nice with the radios. I don't know if you guys managed to
Yeah.
experience that, but
I
that was pretty
heard I
cool.
heard some of that, and apparently some people believe that maybe the Shadow Man is still alive. Like apparently, because isn't he in a summoning key? Don't we
Yeah, he
have him
Uh,
is.
inside
He
a
is.
summoning key?
yeah, and with the cycle, I mean, broken. It's like what's gonna happen to the Shadow Man and all the other souls inside?
Because
And the
yeah,
fact
And
the
we'll.
fact that the summoning key,
Mhm.
wait, my bad.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
The fact that the summoning key was just like it right before the warden knocks them out, puts them in spells. You see the summoning key, but it's hard to describe. It's like the linking itself to our character's souls, to like Primus's souls. It's just it. It's interesting. It's like I mean, it's literally just what they did with the Giant in Black Ops 3. They essentially did with Blood of the Dead again. They made another new possible timeline. I just hope they don't fuck it up this time and make and put us in another fucking loop because
Mhm.
I want a proper ending. I
Yeah,
really
I
do.
want, I
Like
want, I want a really good ending that like I really want to cry, bro. Like I want to be like shit.
like
I want to go out right now and get a tattoo about the freaking crew. I want to get Tank Dempsey. I want to get Takio. I want to get Nikolai and Richtofen. That's how I want the
you know,
ending.
honestly, people are the premise crew are probably like they're better developed than Ultimus at this point. Like they have the best character development in all of zombies. And you know what? In contrast, it makes me think like, do we like the chaos crew at all? Do we like the chaos story at all? Well, do you guys, Robert? I
I
should be asking.
I'm interested in them. I really am. Like I have nothing to hate about them as of right now. I don't like storyline wise. Voyage left me a little bit like wondering because I didn't understand. Is the French dude one of the part of the Illuminati, or is he like a hybrid where he's like human slash Illuminati? Because they're making the
Yeah.
Illuminatis look like some other kind of species, some other kind of creature. So I'm not sure.
Do you remember the opening cutscene to Voyage?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, like with that guy who activated the artifact, he had that same flash on his forehead and
yeah.
everything.
Mhm.
So I mean, I've been seeing a lot of theories going around suggesting Bruno is evil. Yet, I mean, like since nine takes place after Voyage, it almost seems like they completely disregarded that plot point in nine. Like I feel like that's going to be something they're going to save for future DLC. Who knows? They could literally pull it off at any point. Traditionally you would think, oh, DLC 4, they'll probably just bring that like plot thread forward, but no, they could literally just drop it on us DLC 1. Like
Mhm.
this is Treyarch we're talking about here. They're fucking unpredictable.
Yeah.
Um, I should add though, but there is one interesting quote. The French dude Bruno, when he's papping, one of the quotes he says is, "I feel something that's like been inside me for a while." I don't remember the exact quote, but it's something along the lines of that.
Mhm.
And it like as soon as I heard that, I instantly thought it's like, oh, he feels like the presence of whatever essence is inside him. Like
so you think it's more of like he got like a more of like a possession kind of thing? He was possessed more than him being on
it's
his own free will trying to be a part of this cult.
I guess
yeah.
yeah, I get that. I guess that makes sense because when you watch the Voyage of Despair intro cutscene, like the whole cruise ship, everybody's turning into zombies, and this four freaking survivors, they don't. Maybe he was touched by that darkness that was spreading out, but didn't fully develop. Something in him fought it back,
Yeah.
and he that's what I said. He might be some kind of hybrid where like he might be half Illuminati, half some other kind of special
Yeah.
being. But
And
that's to be seen later in the future. So
yeah. Another theory I have is that it might be related to the comics, which I still haven't read yet.
I don't know. I wanna
Wait,
buy.
the actual comics, like the Transit Victus comics, like
No,
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 no.
no, no,
They
no.
have
There's
their
a
own. They have their own separate
wait,
storyline
they
comics.
do?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah, they do.
No bullshit.
yeah. They do.
Yo, I
Yeah, no.
never knew.
Bruno's and Shaw's are currently available. I think Diego's is coming out soon, and Scarlet's is coming out in December.
Oh, damn, I had to read that.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, I gotta read it
I
too. I've
gotta
been
buy
trying to.
all of the comics, even from Black Ops 3, cause I
Yeah, that's
only
like a collector's kind of
I
thing.
only I only bought
Yeah.
one because of the hype, and I was like, yeah, this is freaking awesome. But I never bought the other ones, and I like to have like the hard copy. I don't want to have them digitally. Um,
Mhm.
Anyway, I want to shift the topic here for a little bit. Let's talk about like gameplay. Let's talk about stats. Let's talk about the UI. Let's talk about guns, XP. Let's talk about all of that. I want to start with you, J-RocKe, because you're right now the highest level and of us in here. What do you think, bro? Talk to me. What do you like? What you don't you like? Weapons, XP gaining. We just got a new update where like according to how many players or the difficulty you're playing with, the XP
Mm.
varies. So, what do you think about that?
Well, personally, at first, like we all knew that solo was getting all solo players were getting half the XP than like
Mm-hmm.
a person would play like a
Mm-hmm.
four co-op play. So for me, mostly playing solo, it kind of sucked at first, man. But like I really, and it's in a sense, it still kind of does because it's still not fixed. But also, it's kind of fixed in a sense now because you could kind of play in a hardcore and gain more XP for playing in that difficulty since
Mm-hmm.
they updated that. Um, but personally, like I'm already at Prestige 8, and I already got 200,000 kills. And to me, that's a lot because in the entirety of Black Ops 3, I achieved like 1 million kills, right? That's like in the full year cycle plus beyond that, when
Mm-hmm.
Zombie Chronicles came out. And that's a lot of kills, man. 1 million kills. Like the fact that I'm almost like what I'm a fifth of the way there, and it's only been less than a month already. It's kind of like I know the grind to get level 1,000 is to be unbelievable. More so than Black Ops 3 for sure. Um, but honestly, as far as the gameplay is and everything like that, I enjoy it. I mean, I really do like the game. I do like the some of the changes they made, like with the perk system and getting rid of Juggernog and everything like that. I'm all for that.
Mm-hmm.
I do really do miss Speed Cola.
Oh,
Um,
double tap.
yeah,
Juggernog.
double tap is okay. I don't think it's really necessary anymore, just because we could repack four
True. You
times
know
with that
what?
the damage
You're
boost.
right. You're right. You're right.
So it's kind of like in a sense we already have that in the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Juggernaut we kind of already in a sense have that in the game because just default we it's just four hit
Yeah,
down. You know what I
true.
mean?
And it all depends on the
I'm gonna
difficulty and
be
everything.
honest, and I'm gonna go a little bit back. Health, I loved it. I don't want to say I loved it. I didn't mind it. I liked it how it was when the game first dropped at 150. I had no
Hmm.
complaints. It's something I had to adapt. Obviously, I was going down just like everybody else. I was surprised about about everything. The fact that at one point I was questioning myself, like, dang, has it been this long that I haven't played zombies that I'm really this bad? But at no point I blamed it on the health. It was just me. I always said it
Just
was
like
me.
it's just an adjustment you have to make. And to
Exactly.
me, I agree with you completely. I actually was all for it, man. I was like, you know what, this is cool.
Mhm.
Everyone was kind of like on common ground and knowledge, like, yo, Black Ops 4 zombies is not like Black Ops 3. This is a way more difficult
Yeah,
experience.
we all thought Black Ops 4 was gonna be like Black Ops 3 Zombies. We were all sorely mistaken.
It's
the
so
Uh,
crazy how one more health bar can change the gameplay completely and make it
yeah,
a lot easier.
it's
it really
yeah.
can. It really can. It's surprising. But you know what? To be honest, if you actually stop and think about it, the reason for most of those downs that we had at the beginning when the game first dropped, it was because the dogs, the tigers, the mini bosses, they were super overpowered. They had to be nerfed down a little bit.
Get one shot by the
Yeah.
Tiger Man.
We
Y'all
were
remember
We
that?
were
that was really the cause of all of those downs, of all of that frustration. If right now, actually, I was just playing Mob of the Dead on hardcore, which is 150 health. Yes, I did have bots in the game. I was running throughout the whole map. I had dogs, I had freaking wardens, I had zombies all over me, you know, and then it was easy. Obviously, right now we have the 200 health. No, I was at 150. It was the same as the beginning, and I had no
Hmm.
struggle with it. The problem really was that the dogs and the tigers and the mini bosses were too OP. They were too strong. But again, I do agree with the change. It needed to be changed. because this is what people remembered, and basically this is what people were expecting of zombies when they come to Treyarch. So they did have to change it back to the original 4-hit system.
Yeah, I honestly, and you know what? People were asking for innovation. It's like like I'll be honest. For me, it can be like it can be a little jarring. It's always jarring for me to adjust to innovation and everything. So I mean, I was like I kind of felt a little like I felt like I was on an alien planet in a sense playing Black Ops 4 for the first little bit, but I got used to it gradually. I think my only complaints about the change is that a lot of the famous perk jingles are gone.
Yeah,
Rest in
yeah, that's
pieces.
true.
Yeah.
But you know what?
Um.
It makes it a lot easier to learn where each perk is, because
Yeah.
you get to select where you want your perks to be, basically. So I respect that decision. It's a little tough to swallow, because that means that we won't get a perkaholic. You know, we may get that free perk on 9, but just one free perk. That's it. You know,
Yeah.
so we won't see perkaholic again. And yeah, it's interesting. The now
It
we no longer
was.
have gumballs. Now it's elixirs. I still
Yeah.
call them gumballs. I don't care. To me, they're
Yeah.
gumballs.
It's fine. I've made the habit of doing it too,
And
so don't worry.
the saddest thing, the biggest crime they've committed since Black Ops 4 came out, and I'm not gonna stop complaining about it and whining about it. It's in plain sight. They made my in plain sight a
They did.
gumball that I have to get plasma to use, and that to me is very painful to see and hear, because if you guys have seen my stats, which you guys should have already because of my videos on the channel. If you guys have watched my videos, I'm talking about the viewers. You guys know that in plain sight is my most used gumball, and I'm pretty sure it's the most of everybody's most used gumball. That gumball was for this game right now, Black Ops 4. It's catering for all kinds of players. High rounds. We just found out today. Well, we didn't just find out, but we finally proved today that classified Easter egg, you have to get to round 150. So that's a reward for high rounders. It's catering for
Can we
regular Easter egg hunters. It's catering
gaming?
for noobs. It's catering for old school zombie just want to spend some a little bit of a good time. It's catering for everybody. And they took in plain sight a combo that was perfect for all. That wasn't too OP, because you were still able to go down while popping it. And then, oh man, I could talk about this all day.
I know it's like get a ranch ready, get a ranch ready for Treyarch. Treyarch's gonna have to sit through quite the speech. But yeah, no, I was gonna say, do you mind if we talk about classified now? Because that's something I really want to fucking get off my
Yeah,
chest. That shit.
let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. First of
God.
all, let's talk about the cutscene. I'm gonna start first, man. That cutscene,
Yeah.
unfortunately, it got solved through a glitch. We're not even gonna talk about the glitch. It's irrelevant. It got solved through a glitch. The person who did it did it on cartoon mode, which I personally did the 9 Easter egg on cartoon mode the first time, and I regretted it because it looks so horrible. Like playing wise, amazing. I love that feature, but for Easter eggs, there has to be something that automatically turns that off, because it looks awful. Anyway,
Yeah.
unfortunately, this classified cutscene, it looked horrible because the person who recorded it on cartoon mode, and I can't say it was a pretty one, or I didn't feel it. But when I saw both the crews in there, oh, that junk was OP
Yeah.
as heck. I was like, oh,
Yeah, overpower, man, overpower. Yeah,
something's,
but that definitely gets you excited, man.
yeah,
Just like, dude,
yeah.
what's to come?
Yeah.
They're gonna
I'm
fight
interested.
side by side. It's like whatever next map we get, they're gonna be
Oh
side by
man.
side, most likely, right? You would
Something
think.
is finna go down, boy.
How
Oh my
how
When
crazy would
he's
it be if next map we're playing as both the ultimates and premise together?
You know,
That
somebody
would
made
be
a
awesome.
theory about that, like
Imagine
an
an
8-man crew.
8 man. Oh
Yeah,
my,
yeah.
bro,
I
this would be grief. That would be
That
awesome.
that will be such a leap for track, but it will be I feel like a great innovation and something to try out. You know, why not? You know,
Somebody, funny joke. Somebody was making a joke, like talking about that on Twitter, and somebody responded in a joke. It's like, how is Treyarch gonna have an 8-man game? They can't even support 4-man.
Yeah.
oh god, well, I guess
Uh,
that's.
That's I
That's a
guess that's
totally different subject,
Yeah,
man.
I
But
mean,
hopefully
hey,
by that
hopefully
time
they
they
fix
have
look.
their
this
shit
shit.
together.
There is two ways they can go on about it. All right, so either they do the regular four-man player, and then they appear in the cutscenes and the game at some points, and we hear them through quotes and this and that. Actually, there's three ways. So that's one. The second one is what we just spoke about, an eight-man, where it's basically a grief mode, but you have to solve the Easter egg in grief mode. The other team has their own steps they gotta work on, and the other team has a separate set of steps they have to work on, and they combine together. Therefore, both their efforts come to be this great war, which we get to see the ending of.
So you mean
Or,
like in a sense, Ultimates will have their own separate Easter egg they have to solve, and
mhm,
then Premise has another task they have to do.
but
In
that
all
would be
in order
all.
to.
That will be all 8 players in the same lobby,
Hmm.
though. the
Okay.
other the
Yeah.
other the other way they can go on about it, and I guess I would be excited about this one too. I'm kind of like 50-50 about this. I don't know how to feel about this. They could go on about it where you boot up your game as the premise characters, beat the Easter egg as premise, switch to the other characters. Maybe there's a lobby setting where you switch characters. Oh, now we're gonna be the other
Are you
what
are
what
you
uh-huh.
are you thinking like tortured path here?
No, no, not really. You beat the Easter egg as the premise, and then you beat the Easter egg as the other characters, and then
Oh, okay.
you get the final cutscene, the final war after you,
It's
which
yeah.
it would be cool because that would mean, the Easter egg won't end being on a high round, and it won't be so difficult when you have to end the game and switch. But I really want to see an eight man game, man. It's zombies. It's the game what I love. I want to see how massive that map is gonna be if it's 8 players, and I want to see that dynamic. I want to see 8 players in my zombies match, man. Now, what do you guys think they will do with that?
I mean, there's a lot of potential. It's like I'm just a map of a. It could honestly be the perfect thing to top Revelations too. It's like having a map with both Primus and Ultimus would be like and again I was thinking like I don't think like just the scale of Revelations, the sheer scale of it, the sheer scope of how big that map was, and how the epic proportions that it revolved around. Having both Ultimus and Primus, if done correctly, and if done in like the correct setting and like uh sorry, words on the tip of my tongue. If done in the correct setting, correct layout and everything, like the right enemies to fight, or bosses and Easter egg steps, like it could top Revelations. Especially considering Revelations, as awesome as a map as it was, had a bit of a lackluster Easter egg.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Um, I was going also. Did you guys have anything to say? Anything more you wanted to say about the
Well,
cutscene? Or
there is one thing I do want to say. Now that you brought up Revelations again, right? And we touched on the subject a little bit earlier, about the ending cutscene and how
yeah,
some of you guys were disappointed. I'm pretty sure most of the community probably really was expecting way more than what we got. But at the same time, right, I feel like Treyarch does this actually intentionally to keep us thinking. They did the same thing back when Black Ops 2 first came out, right? We
True.
got the Victor's crew throughout the entire DLC season until DLC 4, where we
Hmm.
finally met the Origins crew.
Yeah,
Now, when we got
the
to
cutscene.
beat the Easter egg and saw the cutscene,
We were like,
that
what?
to most people didn't know what the fuck happened. They thought, wait, was this all just the game in her head? Samantha's head in the first place? Like, was
Is
this
this
all
how it
just
really
made
gonna
up?
end?
oh lord,
Yeah. So really, that's what people thought, and I'm like, wait, why? Like, that's really what it was. But really,
yeah.
it wasn't. And when Black Ops 3 really kind of explained it more and more and more how the story was, where the story's going and what that cutscene actually meant. People didn't know what it meant back then, but now after Black Ops 3 cycle, what I'm saying? It makes a lot more sense. So I feel like Black Ops 3's Revelation ending, people were disappointed. I feel like now it's gonna make more sense now that we're back into Black Ops 4, and now we're also getting two stories. So we're gonna continue this Aether story. So we're gonna get our answers, and I
Mm-hmm.
feel like it's all gonna make sense at some point. Trek Red definitely likes to go ahead and like pull on our strings and kind of like make people. They don't really want to satisfy people in the easiest way possible. They want to go ahead and kind of, you know how they are. They're very like to they like to be cryptic and
Mm-hmm.
make things kind of a mystery, because that adds to the whole, I guess, the fun of everything, of solving and hunting for the Easter eggs and the storyline, because so many people, you have all these theories that come out, with Peter McCain and everything like that,
Sure.
um, all this stuff, and it's things that Trek never really go out and says by themselves, like, okay, this is true, this is not true. This is what the community makes up, and in a sense, we kind of create the story, and we trying to find and fill in all the blank holes that Trek leaves. So I feel like that adds all to the immersion of the whole game in itself, the cutscene of Revelation. So I feel like it's definitely be
Yeah.
explained, and it's definitely gonna make a lot more sense by the end of this DLC season of Black Ops
Yeah,
4.
by the end of DLC 4, just as Origins made sense by the end of Revelations. I
Yeah,
I,
and I
I
know
want
now there's still even more. Now that we've seen the Blood of the Dead Easter egg, right, and now we see the classified Easter egg, the cutscenes. People are asking like, okay, who is this Richtofen, right? This premise Richtofen,
Mm-hmm.
Great War Richtofen. This is the guy we saw after
to. Hello.
Revelations. Is it for sure him?
Well,
What about the Scar? That whole Scar talk?
yeah.
Can we trust this Richtofen? You know what I mean? Can we
And
trust this
which,
Richtofen at all?
like, the big question is,
There we go.
what what war are they gonna fight? Like, it can't be the Shadow Man.
See, at first we thought it was gonna be Monty, but in the radios, when you have your shield, the same radios we heard first, right? It has two kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
it basically has like night and day. The radio, if you don't hear without like the having the
The
shield
Shadow
out,
Man.
you only hear just the warden, or what we believe to be the warden.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you have your shadow out, you hear the shadow man talking, and he's talking to get Richtofen's blood. This basically in Blood of the Dead, it the shadow man achieved his goal. They got Richtofen's blood. The warden basically did what he was supposed to do and get Richtofen's blood, and it's in the island. I mean, it's there. He has his blood. His blood is very special. So I don't know what's going on. Apparently, the Shadow Man is still in the works. So we originally thought we were gonna fight Monty, which I'm pretty sure we still will. But now we got the Shadow Man also to worry about as
Well,
well.
I don't think that Shadow Man is still in the works because remember, it's a mind bend, bro. It's a mind bend because we're in the
Yeah.
Blood of the Dead. We get the premise Richtofen popping in and grabbing the summoning key. And remember, when that happens, at the same time we're in Zetsubo no Shima finishing the boss fight, and that's when they get teleported. When you're in the elevator and the screen
Right.
goes white, they're like, "Ooh." I think Takio is the one that says the line where he's like he cannot he cannot comprehend what just happened, and it's when they come from from Mob of the Dead basically. So that means that the Richtofen we got from Zetsubo no Shima and forward is not the Richtofen we killed right now in Blood of the Dead. So during the
It's a different
timeline,
one.
yeah, in the timeline of the Blood of the Dead we're playing, Shadow Man is not trapped yet. It's not trapped yet. So it makes sense in some way. But I
Mm.
don't think it's the Shadow Man who we will be fighting. It must be some kind of creature, some other hybrid, some other kind of evil keeper or something we're gonna fight that we
Yeah, but
still.
then at the same time, you have to pose the question like,
Mhm.
at the same, basically the Shadow Man achievers go on Blood of the Dead. Like I said, they have Richtofen's blood. So what's gonna happen with that from there on out? That's the whole. That's my whole theory on that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
You know.
so I guess we leave that as a B because we don't really have the answers,
Yeah.
but it's all speculation now.
Mhm.
The key thing, something that's always been on my mind about Richtofen, like, okay, you know how the giant was like a fracture of Duriz, right? This is kind of like further play on my theory of Blood of the Dead being a fracture of, well, what happened between Mob of the Dead slash like what happened between Zetsubo, like the trip between
Mhm.
Zetsubo no Shima and Garad Krovi, because what actually happened, like, and sorry to get into comic spoilers here, but in the comics, like Richtofen's in the lab right after he freezes Victus, like the premise from Zetsubo walk in and he's like, "Oh, you guys are right on time," but in the opening cutscene to Blood, he says, "You're late." Like that's one of the key things. Another key thing is the Richtofen we know from Black Ops 3, the premise one that comes out of a pod at the end of Blood of the Dead Easter egg. He has a scar on his face. The Richtofen whose blood was was drained from his fucking body, and the one from the start of the Easter egg didn't have any form of scar present. And it's also worth mentioning because in the music video, the Richtofen you see that you see throughout the music video isn't even the Richtofen without the it's the one with the scar on his face.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's.
But at the same time, right? When people spawn in Blood of the Dead, I'm pretty sure the Richtofen that you're playing as, when you see him as a playable character, I'm pretty sure you can still see the scar on his face, but it's just in the cutscene, and in the cutscene it's not there. So I know that whole scar theory is still a thing, and I think it might actually have some weight behind it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, why put weight behind it if they're not gonna change the scar out of the playable character in Blood of the Dead on Richtofen?
Yeah.
Why is it still there?
Yeah.
That's the whole question. If they would go ahead and try to make that detail, you would think, and trying to make us find, okay, well, this guy doesn't have a scar, he has a scar, so they're gonna try to differentiate the both because it means something. There's a difference between the both of them. But at the same time, if they're gonna do that but not change the scar out of the playable character version, then really it's kind of, I don't know where to take that. But I think the theory itself is pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, it's just like it's hard to tell how what Richtofen is what at this point. It's like it's just Richtofen's. It's like sorry if this is a bad analogy. It's like spaghetti or noodles. It's just like all over the place at this point. So it can be a little hard to keep track of like what Richtofen is from where, or like which ones we're familiar with and which ones we aren't. But I think because of some I think it was because of possibly the blood, possibly something else. I think Blood of the Dead was an unintended fracture of events. Yeah, I think it's if it's not part of one of the already present fractures, I think it's a new fracture.
But then again, how come is if what we believe to be post-revelation Richtofen is inside a hidden cryo chamber inside that map?
You got me there because I mean,
that's the whole thing, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm not sure.
If that was the case, how is he there? And far as we know, he didn't even know how he got there. He had no idea.
Yeah.
And I mean, go ahead.
Yeah, I really don't know. It's honestly like the big. I mean, even though I'm not sure where the Richtofen without the scar came from, but the big mystery, as you said, is the one from the pod. I couldn't say. I don't think anyone knows at this point. We probably need more information to go on.
Yeah, for real, because how did he get there in the first place? You know
what? I gotta get another look at the ending cutscene to classify it. I gotta does that Richtofen have a scar on his face or not?
Oh shit! I don't even know. I didn't even.
Yeah, I gotta relook.
Oh no! Well, yeah, but I don't know if he had a scar on his face, but he wasn't inside his Great War uniform anymore. He didn't have the premise Great War uniform.
Yeah,
anymore.
But I know, but in the music video, he had he was also lacking his premise. Like he had his normal premise Richtofen, origins Richtofen clothing on, and he had the scar on his face too. So
then
it's
also,
essentially,
how the fuck does that make any sense then? Because if the music video has him in his normal uniform, and he's grabbing the crystal out of the lava, then that means he was there at some point, right? But he already left Mob of the Dead to go ahead and fight, I guess, the Shadow Man, and then go back inside a cycle to be in the Great Ninja War, or the Great Ninja, the Great fucking War. I'm thinking about Naruto right now, the Great War, and to get that uniform, right? So apparently he was there at some point, but also left there and somehow came back after the Great War and after defeating the Shadow Man and getting pushed back into the cycle from Monty.
I think one of the biggest mysteries about all this is we don't know, we have most of the puzzle in a sense. It a lot of it can be put together, what can't be put together by cold hard fact can be put together by fan theories. The key piece we are missing, the more I think about it, is the great. So yeah, no, I'm honestly like very much agreeing with what you're getting at here. I could honestly see maybe the Great War will be it could be a very good candidate for DLC 4. I mean, even though I've heard people say that they're not suggest that maybe Jason Blundell and Craig Houston lied when they said the Chaos and Eford story won't be connected at all.
He doesn't
I've heard
he doesn't have the scar. Sorry, in the classified cutscene. I just looked at it right now. He doesn't have the scar.
yeah.
He doesn't. Okay, so then now, what the hell's going on? So maybe the scar is not really canon.
It's not relevant. Maybe it's just like, I don't know, some kind of effect. They're putting like a bloody effect during cutscenes, and then once you're back in game, or I don't know. I really don't know.
Maybe it's the fact. Maybe the scar is just like hard to notice given the fact it's in cartoon mode. Again, maybe you're right. Maybe the scar
That could also be a thing. I guess.
Yeah, because fucking until somebody gets a clear cut quality cutscene, we won't really know for sure.
We do know for sure though that Classified is after Blood of the Dead ending, right? Because
from what I've heard,
it would make sense right? It would make sense.
Yeah.
But then what doesn't make sense is why that Richtofen is not in a Great War uniform. At one point, because at the end of Blood of the Dead, we saw Richtofen speak to Nikolai. He said, "You don't have to kill yourself. You keep your soul, and still, you know what I mean." And they went inside a portal, and I imagine they went. I would think go straight to that portal to Classified, but apparently that's not what happened. They went inside.
Yeah, they made more detours along the way, just like in Zetsubo. It's like
exactly.
It's like that mystery back in Black Ops 3. It's like, oh, they teleport, then they teleport back, and they have blood vials. Like,
that's exactly what I'm saying. There's things that we don't see on screen that will be obviously touched on later. Just how Zetsubo with Mob of the Dead was.
Yeah.
Exactly like that.
Yeah, it's honestly safe to say Classified is where, if we're going off the theory that Classified happens after Blood, so in one of the cycles, Blood of the Dead happens, the cycle gets broken, new alternate version of time, they go to Classified to collect the Ultimus versions. I kind of get the feeling that maybe Nikolai is slowly becoming the new Richtofen of the group. He seemed to kind of give the whole Richtofen of the group impression at the
100%. I think that's what they're going for too.
I found that very interesting and odd, which I really liked, because out of all the characters, he's the last person I would have thought they give him that position, basically that role. I thought maybe even Takeo and then Dempsey as a second option. But Nikolai, come on.
Actually, I'm proud of his Nikolai, man, because
I'm glad
he's so different from Ultimus Nikolai.
Oh yeah, like he's actually like Premise Nikolai is a great character. I mean, especially that Memories video. It's like, oh man, he's so great.
Yeah, he's intelligent. He's smart. He's not like Ultimus with Nikolai at all. He can use his head, and he could think rationally. It's not all, you know what I mean. I like him for that.
I think it's just his past who got his other self like that. Like when he walks into the room and that Classified, he's like, is this really what you want to do? Just drink your life away? Like, is this really what? Like, you lost your daughter, you lost your wife, and this is how you repay them? Dude, I feel like this is gonna be a very emotional ending, bro. Like, Blood of the Dead already hit me, bro. And now that I'm thinking about that, how Nikolai walked into that room leading, I feel like damn, that was deep, bro. That was fucking deep.
Hopefully it's an emotional ending, like a great emotional ending, like yo, they finally succeeded and everything like that. I wouldn't want them to go all this far and just die and then fail.
I mean, if anything, like if they have to die, maybe their death serves some kind of like beneficial purpose and not just like, I mean,
yeah, but that would make that would be very impactful too. That would actually be very emotional.
I know. I'm not talking like a Revelations cop out kind of thing. I'm talking more like maybe just like
in a way like Richtofen had to die. Richtofen had to die here to give his blood. It was the only
Yeah,
way.
or I don't know. Maybe they all die to give the children a better future. Maybe they all die like to cause a paradox such that all the ether disaster never happened, and yeah, like 115 never came to like flood through dimension after dimension.
Yeah.
I feel that. Yeah, it's basically
Yeah,
because
I mean,
Rick Toughen,
it could.
he didn't want to die. He tried everything
To
in
not
his
Yeah,
die.
part. Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Especially in Blood of Dead, he didn't want to die, and that's why they kept going back in a
yeah,
cycle, and that's when they
it's like
started losing their sanity.
I think the reason this is such a mess is because like everything up to like Primus Richthofen is trying to like I think his mission has been to fix everything up to like from Noctur and Toten all the way to Buried, excluding Mob of the Dead. He wants to fix that entirely. He wants to try to prevent that from happening. However, that's easier said than done. The reason we're going through multiple paradoxes, fractures, dimension, like it's all attempts made. Like Richthofen is essentially, as a doctor typically would, experimenting. He is experimenting with a dangerous element. He is driving himself to insanity. He is trying to do the right thing and prevent prevent all this from ever happening. He's trying to make things right.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of been the underlying slogan. It's like, in fact, like Richthofen's one who's very he has some very underlying quotes. Like it almost seems like he God, how do I put this? It almost seems like his words echo like his words attach themselves to are kind of copied by like other versions of himself. I don't know. It's some kind of God.
Yeah.
It's hard. Yeah, it's hard to explain, but I do hope you get where I'm going with this.
Yeah, I kind of get you. It's we'll see, we'll see. We just have to wait and see what
Yeah.
happens. I wanted to let me see what I wanted. There was something else I wanted to talk about, but I can't remember of it right now.
May
We
I
talked.
suggest a topic?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to suggest future predictions. Like, where do you think DLC might go for both Chaos and Ether?
I don't
Where
wanna.
are you hoping it'll go?
I personally don't want to make predictions because
Okay.
I just end up letting
That's-
myself down. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
no,
I'll be expecting it.
Yeah.
It's
be
my, like my
okay.
my only expectation, which is this, the same one J-RocKe and I agree on, is that I hope for Chaos. I mean for Ether storyline, I want to cry. Like I would not like no, I don't want to. I don't mind if I cry or not, but I really want a heartfelt ending if there is to be an ending.
Yeah.
For Chaos, I want to be dragged in. I want to be like excited for what's to come.
A gripping story. I mean, I think the reason, like, well, as we all know, and as we talked about earlier in the podcast, a lot of people are not fans of the Chaos story. A lot of people are like really not accepting it, and they still
People just
prefer
gotta
the
give
Ether
it
story.
time, man. It's
Yeah,
like,
I think the reason why, like, Treyarch knew people would be hesitant and very slow to accept the Chaos story for what it is, like as a good story, and like accept the character. So for that reason, to try to ease the process, they brought along they continued the Ether story
and I have to
alongside starting
disagree
up
with
the
that.
Chaos story.
I
Yeah,
have to
they.
disagree with that.
Well,
And my point is because I feel like they planned this shit. They knew they were gonna bring it back. I feel like they knew it because there's so many unanswered questions. For one, I'm gonna bring up Peter McCain and the
Yeah.
Revelations. What's that? The music video? We saw him in the intro. I think it might have been a trailer. We saw him in the trailer running around, which we believed him to be dead in Garage Crovey. We saw him running around, and there was no answer to that in Revelations whatsoever. Now we're back in Black Ops 4. Classified has radios on Peter McCain. I feel like they knew the show was gonna happen. The same thing with the Revelations ending. There's still so many more questions to be asked and been answers.
Yeah,
So I feel like this was planned, but also I feel what you're saying. I understand completely what you're saying that they're gonna run two separate stories at the same time, but I also don't think like they needed the Aether story to continue the zombies and the grip people. Because eventually people will get gripped into it.
Yeah, I think. I mean, who knows? It might have been. It might have been the fact that just like they did plan it out from the start. It might have like they might have just it might have partially been that. It could also, another factor could be maybe they're just trying to like they're trying to properly tie up the story after a lot of people like didn't like Revelations the way they intended.
Exactly. Well, no, there's a reason why they didn't. People been
Yeah,
asking
yeah,
for a
yeah.
remaster
I
Mob
get
of the
that,
Dead.
but
There's a reason why they didn't remaster it for Zombie Chronicles. They knew that it
they
was gonna
yeah
come out for Black
they
Ops
had it
4.
ready for Black Ops 4. That was always
When
the plan.
Revelations came out, when Revelations first came out, right? I think a little bit after, Jason Blundell said that there's enough content on this map to last you what was it, like 8 months or whatever? Was it about like around 8 months? So like a good amount of time until it might have been 8 months, I believe. Don't quote me. It might have been 8 months. He said it has enough content to last you 8 months. When really it kind of didn't, you know what I mean? But he even admitted saying when he revealed Zombie Chronicles to on JC's channel that he said that to not kind of in a sense subliminally tell them there's more stuff to come in 8 months or so, which was Zombie
Yeah,
Chronicles. So he knew about this, right? And they talked about this. He even said that about I think at COD XP. I believe it was at COD. He even said at COD
yeah.
XP
Around the
that
time Rev came out.
yeah, that at that point Zombie Chronicles was already a
Already,
thing.
yeah, it was ready
It
to
was already
go, and
planned
then
on.
I
So I really do
yeah.
believe all of this shit was planned out and it wasn't kind of last minute, effort just with yo, let's just add this
Yeah,
shit
I
in.
mean, I think yeah, Treyarch kind of had their stuff planned out. Too bad they don't like plan out their technical issues. Um,
I don't think that falls on Treyarch. I think that just falls on
goes
Activision.
on.
Activision
Yeah,
was
Yeah,
pushing them.
honestly, it's Activision 100%, man.
Bec-
Because this year they still had an earlier
uh,
release date, and a lot of it's because they don't want to compete with Red Dead Redemption. If people are gonna buy a game, because you gotta understand
yeah,
that if people have only like $60 to buy one game, for a few months or whatever, only 60, because like a lot of the people that play the game are kids, right? They ask their parents to go ahead and get them a game. They can't get every single game they want that comes out. Okay, so that's understandable. So they wanted to basically release before Red Dead Redemption 2, which has basically been a game that's been long awaited for
yeah.
and has a very big following. So if Red Dead Redemption would have released before Black Ops 4, a lot of those kids or a lot of those people would have spent that money they could have spent on Black Ops 4
Yeah.
on that game. So in a sense, I understand the business move for it. It makes complete sense. But at the end of the day, we were left with an unfinished product. As far as zombies go, it was in a sense an unfinished product. We are playing this game and it's just constant bugs and issues. And I know they're working to fix it. And to me, I'm pretty patient. I'm a really patient dude. I know a lot of people aren't patient. I know they're gonna get it all sort of at some point. I don't know how long it's gonna take them. I really don't know that. I know it's just been a few patches already, and still there's been changes, but it hasn't been a one silver bullet to kill it all and this blue screen and all these bugs. But I'm
Well,
sure it will come soon.
I
to wrap it up,
yeah.
it's been already 58 minutes. So to wrap it
Wow,
up,
almost an hour.
uh, let's just give our final thoughts, guys. What do you guys think about the game? Do you guys are you guys enjoying it?
Honestly, aside glitches and bugs aside, yes, I've been enjoying it. I all I can say is for the future, if there's one thing I absolutely want from this game, is for the bugs and glitches to really be sorted out.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure we can all agree with that. Like I really I
No,
wanted
a
as
hundred, a
bug
hundred percent, a
Yeah.
yeah
hundred
as
percent.
bug free DLC season as possible. Like
Because it
no
really
death
does.
barriers, no blue screens, please.
Hmm.
Like we've had enough of that.
Yeah, and I hope they reward their players for completing the Easter eggs. That's something I'm really looking forward to. I can't say I have not been rewarded. I feel like I have been rewarded. I don't know what maybe it's because I'm excited. It's a new Call of Duty. I don't feel like
Hmm.
I'm not bored. I'm not pissed off or anything. So let's hope that they don't forget about that feeling of like, hey, they just completed our Easter egg. There's got to be some way of rewarding them. All in that, the game is great. The multiplayer, I have to get used to it.
Yeah.
It's not bad. I'm just bad at it. Blackout, I loved it from the moment I played the beta. I played it on PC, played it on console, and it's great on both. Um,
I suck at blackout, but
yeah,
I like it.
Well,
Uh,
I feel on that reward system though, man, because like on IW, we did an Easter, we got a character, a then like a new
yeah.
character to play as.
Yeah.
We don't really get much as a reward here, really. I mean, not
I
even a
mean,
calling card until you do all three of them. But
Yeah.
I was like, it would be nice to get a reward. Now they add in like face paints and
Hmm.
personalization to your zombie
Which
characters.
is pretty
You should
cool.
get, yeah, you should get something from that. And obviously, here, I don't know if they're gonna change it at some point where they add like different costumes or outfits that you could put on these characters. But yeah, I think that would be a great idea, man. Why not get these cool things for completing an Easter egg, or a camo or something like something that you could kind of represent and you could bring into any game mode, whether it be zombies or multiplayer and public matches. Be like, hey, listen, I have this camo. This basically proves that I've done this Easter egg and
And
whatever.
and as a tip, you know what would be awesome? I don't know if you guys ever completed an Easter egg, the Die Rise Easter egg on Black Ops 2, but when you complete that Easter egg, you don't even have to tell a person you did the Easter egg. When you boot up the map, you already know because you see the antenna flowing with
yeah,
either
but
blue or
same for all of
orange
them. It
electricity.
goes
Yeah,
for all.
all of,
It
yeah.
goes. Yeah.
The one I remember the most is
All
Die
three.
Rise because that was the most visual. But yes,
Hmm.
everyone was able to tell. I guess that was their reward system back then. But now I want to see that, so that way people know, like, dang, this dude knows what he's doing. And second, like, I want to feel rewarded. Something that we didn't touch on, which I guess we can touch on real quick here, is how do you guys feel about when you do the Easter egg and you complete it? It just ends the game. What do you guys think about that?
I
Do you guys like it, dislike it? Why do you guys see as like? Is there an advantage to it, or what?
I don't
okay.
really mind it, man. To be honest with
Yeah.
you.
I mean, it makes more narrative sense in the context of the ending cutscenes.
Yeah,
Hmm.
true.
It doesn't. It doesn't bother me personally, but I can understand why other people are annoyed by it.
I see.
And yeah,
I guess.
that
I guess.
that's my 2 cents.
I guess. I guess we got used to the Black Ops 3 methods where we would complete an Easter egg and get
Yeah.
perkaholic, and that was mainly why people wanted to do the Easter egg to get that perkaholic and then go for high rounds. But I guess
Hmm.
here, because there's no perkaholic, there's no need to keep going. And like you said, it makes sense. It's an ending cutscene. The game should end right there. So yeah, makes a lot of sense. Um,
I guess that also leaves a lot of questions to why the game didn't end on round 50 after doing the classified Easter egg. It's like you said. I mean, people were saying there's a second Easter egg to it, right? There's a second
Yeah.
outro.
apparently on around 250 or 255, there's another outro where
Good
Nikolai.
luck to anybody who actually gets that legitimately, too, because
Oh my god. Yeah.
yo,
Like.
whoever actually gets that shit legitimate, man, yo, hats off to you, man. You deserve that first in the world and everything, bro. That's a crazy
Yeah.
achievement.
I'll fucking mail that person a hat saying like I got world's first classified.
Cause you gotta understand, he'll get worlds first, and he probably be like one, maybe out of 10 people who will actually
Yeah.
complete it in
I
that
mean,
cycle.
it's like so many of them have been reliant on boss fights in the past. Like, who needs boss fights when you can just like it's the typical point of zombies, just high rounds. It's an
Hmm.
achievement. It's like, and you know what? That can kind of that I kind of get where Treyarch was going with it. It's like it gives people a reason to appreciate classified. The goal of the Easter egg, quote unquote Easter egg, it gives people a reason to appreciate the core, the roots of zombies,
Yeah.
like when it was first formed in World War II. Just get to a high round.
Hmm.
I kind of like the Easter egg though. The going to 150, like I know a lot of people won't be able to complete it legitimately, but I feel like that's okay, man. Like it rewards people who will try, and I'm sure
Hmm.
at some point when they fix the blue screens, I feel like at least at some point, out of all three of us will get it done legitimately. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
I hope so.
Alrighty,
Yeah,
guys. Well, I think this is gonna be it. I feel like this went well. This went really great.
I'm glad.
How do you guys feel about all this talk? You guys enjoyed it?
Man, it was fun, bro, just to get your mind off and just
Yeah,
think
very much
about what
so.
we feel very passionate about in this game mode. I mean, I really do love this game mode. So
Alrighty,
Yeah,
guys.
it's
Well, there you guys have it. That was J-RocKe. That was quatchi16, and this is
been
your
real.
host, Gaming Memories TV. This has been really dope. I hope you guys really enjoy it. I really hope to do more of this. If there's any subjects we didn't cover, I know we didn't cover everything. This, like I said, this was just a test. We went over time because I wasn't expecting to do an hour. So I was expecting to do about 40 minutes, but in my opinion, it went great. You guys let us know. And let us know about what I put on screen. I put some cutscenes, some fails, and whatever. Just let me know what you think about them. What do you want to see in the future? And I'll improve either sound, quality, whatever. Just let us know. Again, max shout out to J-RocKe, max shout out to Quatchi. I'll be linking their
Yep.
stuff down in the description below. And I'll be linking down J-RocKe's community, which he's got a PlayStation Zombies community, which is very popular. I really recommend it. Anyway, guys, this has been Gaming Memories TV. Go make sure to check my Twitter, subscribe, like, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.